Hello, my name's Julie Williams. I'm a registered migration agent with Migration Downunder, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Prospective Marriage Visa, also referred to as the subclass 300. This visa is for people that are considering to get married. Perhaps they're offshore, haven't got an opportunity to come to Australia on any other visa, can't be together, but are looking to get married and have met each other at least once in person. And a lot of people do ask with this visa, oh, I'm not officially engaged, or I haven't bought the ring, or I haven't had a big elaborate party. That doesn't matter. That's not a requirement for the Prospective Marriage Visa. What it is a visa that for somebody that is intending to get married. So if you've got a genuine intent to get married, then this visa is possibly a good option for you, especially if you don't have an opportunity of living together in each other's countries. Because sometimes people think that getting married and applying as a married couple, yet living in two separate countries, is a better way to go. But not necessarily, because then you've got to provide evidence of living together. Whereas the Prospective Marriage Visa is not a requirement to show that you live together. You don't have to show a requirement of sharing financials or sharing a household. You do need to show a requirement that you are intending on getting married, and you're going to be getting married within 9 months of the grant of the visa. Now, the visa at the moment for the subclass 300, they're all processed by offshore processing centres. So dependent of your location will be dependent which embassy will be processing your visa. Sometimes they may be quick, dependent on the location, dependent on how many applications they have in the pipeline. You could be waiting only 6 months, but then again, you may be waiting 12 months. So it's very difficult to give you a definitive period of time of how long it could take. But if you consider anywhere between sort of 8 to 14 months, then you'll be happy if it gets granted a lot sooner. Now, once the visa is granted, it's granted 9 months from the day that it is issued. You then have an obligation to enter Australia at least once before you get married. So you do need to enter Australia before you get married, even if you just come and enter for a couple of weeks and then depart again, if your desire is to marry overseas and not necessarily in Australia. So you can marry wherever you wish. You can get married in the country of your origin, or you can get married in Australia, or you can get married in a totally different country, such as Bali or Fiji or an island destination. It really doesn't matter, but as long as you enter Australia at least once. You will get full work rights on this visa. You'll also get multiple re-entry, which means that you can travel in and out of Australia as often as you like for the validity of that visa. You don't get access to Medicare, which is our national healthcare scheme, and that is something that you'll have access to once you do get married. You then would need to apply for a partner visa based on marriage. You can do that in Australia from your 300 visa, and then you'll get a bridging visa to allow you to remain in Australia. And upon the lodgement of a more permanent visa based on marriage, that's when you'll have access to Medicare. A lot of people ask, do I get interviewed as part of this process? Not generally speaking. Once again, depends on the offshore processing centre. Sometimes, for instance, in Moscow, there was quite a common thing that they did interview everybody before they granted the visa, just to ask about their relationship and their intention to get married, and making certain that what they have in the application is true and correct. Sometimes in India, they may also interview, but generally speaking, they don't necessarily have the resources to interview absolutely everyone. Sometimes they may they might ring, not necessarily an interview, but they might find it easier to ring and speak to the applicant than send an email for that. A lot of people often ask, oh, how much is it going to cost? How, can I have a checklist? Well, the cost of the Prospective Marriage Visa, the government fees, are exactly the same as that of the partner visa, the 309 or the 820. So those fees are all exactly the same. But as a prospective marriage visa, you have got another step. Once you do get married, you do need to apply on the basis of being married. And so there will be a second government fee, and that's a lot less than the initial fee that you've first paid. So it won't be the same fee and double that. It will just be a fraction of the first fee that you paid for the second part of your visa. Checklists, well, if you want a general checklist, yes, they can be found on the website of the Department of Home Affairs, but we like to treat people as individuals. So you don't really need a checklist if you are in a genuine relationship, because you'll already have all those documents and supporting evidence to support your relationship. What we do is strengthen what you've got and then enable and issue a individual checklist based on your individual circumstances. So if you're in a genuine relationship, there probably doesn't need to be a checklist. You probably have it all anyway. We're there just to help and support you. But if you do require assistance, if you would like to proceed utilising the services of Migration Down Under, we're certainly happy to hear from you, either via email, or if you'd like to pick up the phone if you're in Australia on 02 9419 5411.